What you want? You want this? You want this? You want this one? Yeah? Go. You got it. I'll give you 10. This 10. Because you know you're gonna eat this. It's like a damn make you run. I'm gonna put it right there. Here. It's clean, it's alright. I'm not messing with you. Let's go put this out, all right? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, Papa. Trust me. I promise you I'm gonna get it. Go, don't you? Hell yeah. That's good. It's good. You don't like this one. It scares the shit out of you. That's why I don't take it. It's that 4-4, that 40-0. Fuck with this time, you're gonna try and drink out of it. No. You gonna stop that craziness. I know you think you me. We is alike, but you're not me. I don't have the Ashmore. Let's take 2 of these though. Take 2 days off. Right. Tongali. It's that shit right there. Take it in that. Loving it, ain't you? Holy smoly. What's cracking? What's going on, guys? Some relaxing music. I pushed it back a little bit. I had to put some clothes from the washer in the dryer, so, and I had to take 2 things out that I had to hang dry, so. Can't tumble dry. You know how some of the stuff is you can't tumble dry it. Makes no sense. The world is crazy, right? I don't mind people sharing stuff with me because, you know, I check. I'm gonna look at it. But lately, because of that one video I did, I took it down real quick. I did a side-by-side with the guy going up on the person's front lawn and going to the house and put his butt up against it. That wasn't the first one. There's about 20 before that. And I did a side-by-side. Now, I couldn't even look in the direction of the video. And my comment was, we have become like them. Now, you know there was a movie that says, we have become like them, but meaning like gods. Now, here it is. 3/5 of a man, 7.75, whatever, 40%, 60%. And what's the other 40%? I always told people, we are the gods you have forgotten. While you're looking out there, the gods here have put themselves in a position and they're not going to like what comes out of it when the time is up. And I don't like using the word God or gods. It's just that simple. It's that simplistic. The issue is we not only piloted, we settled all lands. The thing that makes us beautiful, we look like everything in every shade as far as tawny. Now, I've been saying this for a long time. Obviously, people are paying attention, and I love that. I watched my brother Westside's video, DJ commenting on everything, and how can anybody have an inferiority complex? I love that. You know how long I've been telling people where I live at this, and they look at me like I'm crazy? Like, how dare you go against scholarly work? When scholarly work is just what it is, like algebra. BS. It is complete nonsense. It is written and scripted and then pushed to the masses to keep those of you not knowing the truth. Now, I look at all the Peckerwoods, who did a lot of murdering of our people. No, people murdered a lot of them. Nah, it's a give and take. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth is our statement, because it should be granted. I don't care if they came with a damn vehicle that about half the size of this continent flying over it. It can be brought down. What I am talking about, these people who have become in obscurity and they believe the lies of these fake kings and queens. Every last one of them are fake, are fraudulent. It doesn't matter the fact they may have come from us and something or somewhere else. They're not going to like that. None of them. And when I was watching this one woman walk around in the meat department, you know how they got the frozen crap all in the middle of the aisles you walk through with the frozen meats, and you got the coolers. She actually had the nerve, pale skin girl, to run around, pull her pants a little shorts aside, and poop. Pick her stuff up and walk like it don't stink, like it still ain't on in between her butt cheeks. You know, and first of all, if you're a meat eater, you've got to wipe. And I would hope you have some wipes and a towel and want to get in the tub and wash it behind, because toilet paper is not the solid answer. Besides having paper like dingleberries hanging from your butt, not to be nasty. But I've seen over 100 videos of this nonsense, and it is so nasty. But the point I'm getting at, that when we believe being here, I know you can tie this in with the poisoning of the food, the water, and everything else. We're bigger than that. But when I say chemical lobotomy, are you starting to get what I'm saying? We are degrading. No, they are degrading. We are elevating. When they try to do a thing, I read it on who's the smartest, Chinese students compared to American students. It's actually our people who are smarter than all of them. In the last 30 years, who's had the highest IQs? Melanated children. But what happens to them? They got to go and get some more inoculations. They got to go. This bullshit inoculations. The problem is, since this Peckerwood completely took over in around 1947, it's been nothing but chaos, calamity, and what they know best, destruction. And what was sorrowful in my eyes is the dumbass, and I'm not going to say melanated, autochthonous, I'm going to say dumbass niggas who have joined in their delusion. When I think about them 4 or 5 cops over there that beat the wrong guy up, innocent, beat him to death. Every one of you, if you look in, and I know the feds won't have, the fake feds won't have you look in, but if you ever come across this, remember what I said. You will reap exactly what you have sown. That's a fact. I'm not worried about them. They're going to reap it regardless. It doesn't matter what they've done and what they're complicit. Now, I just wanted to share that. Now, I read a lot of stuff, and some of the stuff is pure fantasy and bullshit. But the thing is, there's a message in everything. So we're going to get right into the reading. All right. And I appreciate those who've come along, who've held on, who've stayed long. All right. Who are really about the fight, the real fight. I appreciate y'all more than anything. You know, it's nothing but pure. And there's so much more that's going to have to be done, because these beasts are insatiable and inseparable from their disease. If you think fear is not their motivation, something is wrong with you. If you think that they are that safe, and it's not how it works. See, right now, our belief is the Fourth Amendment. Safe in our what? In all our affairs, our belongings, our comings, are where we live at, right? Like what my vehicle and everything for travel. These motherfuckers are trying to say you don't own it just because they played a little trick game with fiat. But you got to remember, if it's moving on our gold and silver, whatever, if it is still moving under that, they've lied to themselves. We own everything that we have purchased with that bullshit they have scripted. See, that's where they make a mistake. And then they have idiots in costume who are stupid, the dumbest. I mean, look, I've trained some of them to go back on the force, and they were grateful for the sit down and conversations, because they look at everything totally different now, just as you and I do. Now, I told them don't go out there trying to shake the tree because the majority of them, 99.99% of them are stupid. And that's why I expressed to you earlier what stupid is to me. Okay? And they will just rile because they don't have the proper equipment. They're irrational, overly emotional. Doesn't matter the cartoon. They've lived a lie long enough to believe that is the common factor when it's far beyond and far from. But I am so grateful to see the information I have fought teachers in high school and middle school, principals swinging on, all because they kept telling me I was wrong and I was calling them liars. In the military, being silent, taking places to meet people, and all that, I always felt like it didn't pay off for nothing. But to see a handful of people, and then those come along, sharing it, and digging and finding it, because I always said, I can't give everything. But if I'm telling you something, you look, it's there. It doesn't matter how we want to chop it up with words and all that shit. We got to start with baby steps. All right, baby steps. And the baby step is, when I was telling people over 25 years ago, and especially after I got out of the military, well, in the military I said, and I was always just told, be quiet. But those branch, just be quiet. Nobody wants to hear that shit. I said, that queen over there, the motherfuckers is fake. I don't know what they is, but they ain't real. And I said, we founded that land. And they said, are you crazy? I said, we're the original Vikings. The greatest ship, some of the ships now, they aren't even as big. Some of the big ships aren't even as big as the ships we built out of timber and metal. That's right. They're not. They're not flotillas. You put 3 carriers together and they can show you one of our grand ships of old. I am serious. They have come, these small hat motherfuckers, these liars, these beasts, and they've methodically, even through death, subverted, diverted, and changed everybody, even their own. This is pretty sickening. As they collected all the information of the earth, because we're so busy fighting. And here y'all sit at the crux of it all. I wonder how you feel now. Regardless of me talking about the end being good and just, it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with some shit. We're different. When I say we're different, I mean in a way that is beyond, and even them of old know that we are different. The fear is wanting to watch what we can become, and yet at the same time wanting to stop it. Everything has an ending. They know it better than you know it now. I always say if people were truly smart, not feeling like they're being tested, how is somebody going to test who's not original? They would stop. And the people who are operating with them would turn around and change up on them if they was really smart. But you know how it is. If I was to show you some fanciful shit, bring you in and say, this is what you got to do next week, and there's no way out of it, you would be convinced and you would sacrifice yourself to do it. And that's what we're dealing with, because they're not smart. And if I was to utilize that against you, show you some things and do that, it wouldn't be too smart on my behalf to subjugate you in such a way. They're too stupid. The ones that do, they're a blessing. And you always see it. But you don't see all of them. Remember that. Let's go ahead and get to the reptilians and the history of humankind, the Anunnaki. I ate. I am stuffed. I am still stuffed. It's been over an hour, y'all. Seriously. I'm stuffed. And I should have went out and walked for about 15 minutes, but I was laying up here like this, thinking. And then I realized, and right when I was supposed to go live, and I was at 30 and ran downstairs because I was washing clothes also. But I'm stuffed. Anyway, let's get into this, okay? Now, this is Henry Crane, all right? I had this book for a few years, though. Dinosaurs, Extinction, and the War Between Two Races. Now we know that races, and that's why this is recently wrote. We know that it really don't exist. But what could it be? Could it be something in here and something else outside of here? Which one is more inferior to the other? I mean, well, let's go ahead and see what this is saying. 65 million years ago, there was a war between the reptilians coming from the constellation of Orion. Now, it's downstairs. You know the map. Orion is a great land. And who occupies it and controls the people there? The custodians. And Anunnaki have places everywhere, but they didn't stay at everywhere. The Anunnaki are bigger than the custodians. The custodians look like us. All right, anyway. Orion and the Lyrans from the constellation of Lyra. It's another small landmass. This war lasted many years. So what does constellation mean? Well, if we look at the geographic the map, constellation could be that which is situated on the map, meaning each dome, right? Couldn't it? Is it possible? See, if you're still focused on what they taught you with Star Wars and all that other, Empire Strike and all that other BS they've given us, you think out there. There's no out there. That's water up there, guys. That is water up there. That is a solid water. That is water. If not water, is water, people. And they can't get through it. At least the majority can. Okay, we cleared that up. Who had made an alliance with the Lyrans to put an end to the reptilians. Listen to this. Battles, listen. This war lasted many years, and in one of the battles in which the vegans from the star Vega, which is in the constellation of Lyra, who had made an alliance with the Lyrans to put an end to the reptilians, were fighting, and they decided to flee and discovered a planet. That planet was Earth. Plain, okay? They're going to make you believe in this crap, and they've got to write it in, because if they start talking flat Earth and all this other shit, you know how the demography of the idiots that run amok. I mean, they think they're really intelligent and smart. Anyway, let's go ahead. These vegans landed on Earth, and they decided to hide in it from the reptilians. Obviously, the reptilians found them, and they decided to attack them with nuclear technology. While the vegans, that people might say vegans, it's vegans, decided to counterattack with the last nuclear weapons of the last remaining ships, producing this great war on Earth. In those times, the dinosaurs already existed. And when the Galactic Confederation realized that the vegans, dinosaurs, no such word, they were titans. Many things were giant and big. Even we were bigger than we are now. Okay, when the Galactic Confederation realized that the vegans and reptilians were using nuclear weapons on the virgin planet called Earth, virgin my ass, anyway, which they were observing and guarding their evolution, they decided, listen to this, to intervene. They sent two of their most powerful races, the carrions and the felines, with the only mission of safeguarding as much life as possible existing on Earth, so the living beings there could continue evolving. Upon arriving on Earth, the carrions decided to save the dinosaurs by moving them, guiding them to the Abzu, the interior of the planet Earth, while the felines guarded the entrances of the North and South Pole. In this way, they managed to save a lot of dinosaurs. Now we know there is no South Pole. Southern Polaris, it depends on what you're looking at and what you're looking for. Although many of the dinosaur species were not saved due to the number of nuclear weapons used in this war, most of the dinosaur species were saved in the Abzu, and that's the interior, in the interior of the Earth. Interestingly, the carrions and felines also saved a very primitive race of human beings. Some of us were hidden in the Abzu, while others were saved in the caverns. That is how it was possible to save a large number of living beings on Earth. Remember, I tell you there's a certain line, there's a certain mark that I've seen on raised mountains, but I will point out to people that's black. It is dark. It is as if the whole Earth was scorched. You see a lot of things out here. If you Google Earth, I hate that shit, but if you Google Earth and look for these craters, they tell you that meteorites struck. Oh, that was from a great war I keep telling y'all about. And then when we came out of that, we built up Tartaria. Well, later on down the road. But first we had to harness all the energy around us. May have had some help with that. I don't know. That doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway. The felines. All right, listen to this. The felines. That's what it says. When this battle was over, gave an ultimatum to the reptilians to move away from the planet Earth. Otherwise, they would have problems with that race. And the only one capable of facing them, the few reptilians left alive, withdrew when they won the battle. That is how it was possible to save as many species of dinosaurs on Earth. And what they tell us in school about the dinosaurs that became extinct due to a huge meteorite is false. They continue to live in the Abzu inside the Earth. At the end of this great war of Orion, and the reptilians being victorious, the Galactic Confederation decided that the Carians would take over the safety of planet Earth. But the Carians, living so long with the dinosaurs in the Abzu, decided to modify them genetically to accelerate their evolution, being born then a new reptilian subrace. That is how the first race with intelligence started. Humans were not the first to evolve and have intelligence. It was this new reptilian race that takes us millions of years of advantage in technology and intelligence, and that is within the depths of the Earth. However, this is not the only intelligent race. Now, I would love to start reading this. Not yet. Because you got to remember, many things are deception. You feel me? Let's go into George Jones, An Original History of Ancient America. Remember, just listen. And I know y'all, he's going to research stuff. Listen for keywords, do the research, and whatever you find, share it. Whether it's plausible or not, whether it's believable or not, share it. Because somebody else might know something or might be able to draw upon that saying, oh, that's a missing piece of my puzzle. And they might have something that's conclusive. And sometimes you make new brothers or kindred, in doing such things. People will search people out. And when they find them, they stick and stay. And it's a beautiful thing. Now, this stuff is not going to be around long, guys. In the format it is, because the perversions, what they want to do with it. Right now, it's just to watch, log, oh, here he goes, and put you in, you know what I'm saying? Put you in this position. So anyway, let's go. Remember, I marked it. So let's go ahead. George Jones, An Original History of Ancient America, an Eldorado Classic, okay? I appreciate the donations. Trust me, guys. On the east side of the structure I was looking at some more books. I didn't add no more. But I was tempted, but I didn't. On the east side of the structure is a broad range of stone steps between 8 and 9 inches high and so steep that the greatest care is required in ascending and descending. Of those, we counted 101 in their places. 9 were wanting at the top. That's right, wanting at the top. And perhaps 20 were covered with rubbish at the bottom. At the summit of the steps is a stone platform 4.5 feet wide, running along the rear of the building. There is no door in the center, but at each end, a door opens into an apartment 18 feet long and 9 wide. And between the two is a third apartment of the same width. The 34 feet long and 30 feet long, The whole building is of stone. Inside the walls are of polished smoothness. Would that mean sandstone or marble? Outside, up to the height of the door, the stones are plain and square. Above this line, there is a rich cornice or molding. And from this to the top of the building, all the sides are covered with rich and elaborate sculptured ornaments, forming a sort of arabesque. The style and character of these ornaments were entirely different from those of any we had seen before, either in that country or any other. They bore no resemblance whatsoever to those of Copan or Palenque, and were quite as unique and peculiar. Excuse me, gas, I feel it. The designs were strange and incomprehensible, very elaborate, sometimes grotesque, but often simple, tasteful, and beautiful. So how could it be grotesque if it's tasteful and beautiful? See, that's what I'm saying about them making history out to be some form of art. It means you're fucking new. Anyway, for example, the forms. With busts of human beings, heads of leopards, and compositions of leaves and flowers, and the ornaments known everywhere as Greques. The ornaments which succeed each other are different. They're all different. And the whole form an extraordinary mass of richness and complexity. And the effect is both grand and curious. And the construction of these ornaments is not less peculiar and striking than the general effect. There were no tablets or single stones, each representing separately or by itself an entire subject. But every ornament or combination is made up of separate stones, on each of which part of the subject was carved or sculpted, and was then, set in its place in the wall. Each stone by itself was an unmeaning fractional part, but placed by the side of others helped to make a whole which without it would be incomplete. Perhaps it may, what's that? I should turn the light on. Perhaps it may, with propriety, be called a species of sculptured mosaic. And this last sentence cannot be entertained, for mosaic is an arrangement of colored stones. A mosaic. Well, anyway, Tartarian, you know what I'm talking about. Stones to represent a painted floor, wall, or ceiling. Their shape is not material, but they must be possessed of different colors. And we already know that there's only 3 main colors, right? In the rainbow, you see how many? Anyway, now this does not appear upon the walls of Uxmal, for example, of the edifice, now in review, which we are right now dealing with. And the absence of colored stones gives the negative to their being even a species of mosaic. Nor were the stones first sculptured and then set in their place. Yeah, you kind of lost me right there, bro. In the wall. That is entirely a modern custom, but by applying the history of ancient sculpture to the preceding description, the means whereby the accuracy of facial sculpture of the wall was obtained is at once defined and established. For example, let's say the Greeks placed the stones of their friezes and pediments upon their temples in their rough state. They were sculptured afterwards, and consequently the greatest accuracy in the connecting lines from one stone to another was obtained, and could be by that manner only could be. Ain't that some shit? Excuse my language. Ain't that something? Excuse me. The fluting of a column of one or more blocks of marble was always sculptured after it had been erected in its rough state. This was the only practice in that branch of art, and without doubt it was. I must have been, at least. So practiced upon the beautiful and unique walls of Uxmal. They don't know this. This is what they do. And then they make it part of a curriculum. They put it in the system, and then you're supposed to believe it. And that's not anybody with art knows that's not how it happened. That is not how they built them. But it's good to have good information showing America as to be the old world. And everything we look outside of it caused the destruction, and many things weren't kept, or at least was kept by an order of liars, fake popes and priests and all this other goopy stuff. And they have been able to accomplish exactly what we're looking at and doing our best to make corrections. And it's hard to do that. It's not like we were, I can't deny it, but we were living at that time. The information is within us. And if you shoot the right crap into people after long testings and studying victims, then okay, well, we can block this memory in them. Let's get them when they're about 7 to 8 months. Let's make sure they get these shots. And then the memory will fade and it won't be in remembrance. Some might have little small random thoughts and remembrance. But the problem is, now we we consummate this relationship with women and women with us. And because of this crap they put in us, so now it passes on through the DNA. So it's blocked off in the babies. That's why it's important to take it in and build a Luxor, to build a palace of remembrance, to allow it to swim and mitigate in those closed off receptors to reach. That's why it's important to do headstands and ground yourself and to fast every once in a while, to intermittent fast, which I like doing. All right. And allow yourself to start having slow memories. And a lot of times they'll be like dreams. I detest that word. That's visions. That's, what do they call that? Vision. What do they call that? When you see things and you say, I was daydreaming, you were having a memory. And that's why it's good to be able to teach people, walk in that memory. Allow yourself to see in that memory. Allow yourself, you heard people say, well, I was controlling my dream. Sometimes we can pervert what is natural because we bring outside what we got here into the dream, and then we start manifesting it without knowing that we're capable of this. So when you're in that dream, don't think about nothing that you're on the outside. Walk in the dream and allow yourself to see everything until it starts to fade and you start coming back into this realm. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Nobody else is saying that, trust me. All right, so let's go ahead. Arthur Koestler, the 13th tribe. Okay, the startling new discovery about the true ancestry of the Ashkenazi people. It will cause a stir. That's why it's a review by John Barker. Okay. Arthur Koestler is the author of this. Yeah, I was reading up on him and his wife's suicide. Very sketchy, very sick, very. Can you imagine them? Somebody going in their house when they're not there, poisoning everything, and then they go to eat and they drink, and you know, people are in the room and they're talking to them. And nobody else knows anything. Nobody's there protecting security, and they make them take this stuff. Or they say, well, we can make it very messy in here. And then once the job is done, they all walk away. No fingerprints, no nothing. They go back to the underworld or wherever it is. We'll see, you know, and that's possible. All right. Chapter 9. Yet even after their political power was broken, remember when we talk about the banished nation? Okay. Yet even after their political power was broken, they left marks of Khazar Ashkenazi influence in unexpected places. I'm not going to call them Jews. It's not. Unexpected places. And on a variety of people. Among them were the Seljuk, who may be regarded as the true founders of Muslim Turkey. And towards the end of the 10th century, this other offshoot of the Guz had moved southwards into the vicinity of Bokhara, from where they were later to erupt into Byzantine Asia Minor and colonize it. They do not enter directly into our story, but they do so through a back door, as it were, for the great Seljuk dynasty seems to have been immediately linked with the Khazars. This Khazar connection is reported by Bar Hebrakas, 1226 to 86. One of the greatest among Syriac writers and scholars. As the name indicates, he was of Jewish origin, but converted to Christianity and ordained a bishop at the age of 20. We know they're not Jews. Bar Hebraeus relates to Seljuk's father, Tukak. Tukak, sounds very familiar, South America, was a commander in the army of the Khazar Khagan, and that after his death, Seljuk himself, founder of the dynasty, was brought up at the Khagan's court. But he was an impetuous youth and took liberties with the Khagan, to which the Khatun, the queen, objected. As a result, Seljuk had to leave, or was banned from the court. Another contemporary source, Ibn al-Adim's history of Aleppo, and we know Aleppo to be where? You remember the war, right? Is it Iraq? Is it Afghanistan? What was Aleppo? Aleppo's base? Come on, people. Stay with me. Open your eyes. Also speaks of Seljuk's father as one of the notables of the Khazar Turks. When you say Ottoman Empire, Pelskins going to decimate and destroy a melanated ancient people, a group of people. That's what all those wars were about. These bastards was destroying the oral history so they could take over, murdering all the melanated people, conquering, using Gog and Magog to fight the true G people of so-called China. You look at all these Chinese people now; they're as pale as fucking butt lick. I've even said to some, you don't look like the people of my ancestral heritage who were in during the Ming and Qing and all them dynasties. Who are you? Because they're not. Just because their eyes are slanted. They ain't really slanted, y'all. I hate that term. But anyway, they're not. It's a new race, a breed of people. And people say, oh, whiting out. Oh, man. Look, let me tell you about Africa, Nairobi, and all them places where these women and people run around using them skin lightening creams and pills and shit. Oh, that stuff is crazy. Why the hell would somebody want to be all pale? Well, fuck that. That's nasty. And then the ones who are melanated don't even know their true origin because they so mixed the fuck up. There was a reason why everybody stayed to themselves at the time, because we were a great people. There was no need. And we didn't see this race and all this crayon color shit. But now it's a perversion. And some things are done with an intent. Who would do that? It has to be somebody foreign from here, foreign to here. Or somebody created in a goddamn test tube. I'm just saying. Anyway, we also remember the strong ambivalent, God dog red, attitude of the Gurs towards the Khazars in Ibn Fadlan's travelogue. Thus, there seems to have been an intimate relationship between the Khazars and the founders of the Seljuk dynasty, followed by a break. This was probably due to the Seljuks' conversion to Islam, while the other Guz tribes, such as the Cumans, take a K away and put H as humans, remained pagans. Nevertheless, the Khazar Judaic influence prevailed for some time even after the break. Among the four sons of Seljuk, one was given the exclusively Jewish name of Israel, and one grandson was called David. Dunlop, usually a very cautious author, remarks, in view of what has already been said, the suggestion is that these names are due to the religious influence among the leading families of the Guz, of the dominant Khazars. The house of worship among the Guz mentioned by Qazwini might well have been a synagogue, which we didn't have no goddamn synagogue. See, this is what all these motherfucking Khazars, these Ashkenazis done. Because you got to remember, Khazars is a stolen word from the Al-Khazarians, to which they got rid of. Now, you can see some of the body shape, the melanation of some of these pale women, they don't know their true history. All right? And y'all looking at all these pale skins walking around with these bodies. Now, some of them got BBLs and a whole lot of other things, but some of them is just straight up niggas. And I know it's hard to believe it. I really don't care. So we may add here that according to Artamanov, she's red, come on. Specifically, Jewish names also occurred among the other Guz branch of the Cumans. The sons of the Cuman prince Kubiak were called Isaac and Daniel. These are all our goddamn names, man. It doesn't matter how short back we go or how far back. It's our shit. All of it. And I know some of y'all still can't, I know y'all ain't look up the steps, and I know you can't, I know a lot of you cannot find anything on the hot top people. The ones that right before the fall and the Great War that took over here were going around to all the continents. They were handing out fighting scrolls hundreds of years above the fall, and they were being chased by them, these motherfuckers. And they were peaceful people. Oh, were great fighting fucking people. And they were handing the orders to take scrolls and literature that tell them how to fight and what to do for remembrance. Which these motherfuckers don't know nothing about. They just wanted to stop them. Because they knew that they were up to something. You see Australia, you see all them little niggas running around, right? What they do, what Hollywood do, make them look like all they do is play the Digital do, put white paint up and down their body like a fucking zebra, and dance around with a loincloth around their ass They wore clothes. They were great warriors. They were great teachers and all that. Now they walk around acting dumb. Hey, just call me Blackie, with a bunch of dumb-ass, uneducated, coof paleskins who are from a land that they even murdered the majority of the autochthonous or the indigenous people of those lands. Whether you want to call it Scotland and Ireland and all that shit really don't exist. But you can't tell that to the people who have been conditioned to believe it, when the terms belong to the people of the land, not to the fucking land. It's true. This is real shit. And they run around all big-headed on this soil. This is the fucking end. My advice to the Chinese: if you're coming over here with that fake-ass ideology I call the fucking religion, though a majority act like you're atheists, I would advise you to get the fuck going. Or you can stay and trust in your machines. Spiritless, soulless fucking people. Here we have Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. And fuck a namaste. We're beyond a fucking namaste. Fucking namaste. Namaste my ass. Excuse my language, but I'm serious. Anyway, against the administration of the American people. You remember that, 67, 68? The urban riots and during all that other stuff, the civil crisis management program. It was to go against the people, not outsiders. They make war to keep strife and separation and division. A lot of Pelican people aren't your fucking enemy. No, some of them will carry on that way. But you got more motherfuckers that look like you and me that are worse than them. They're stupid. And I'm not saying that to be all decent. I'm saying they're fucking dumb. They're unethical. They're uneducated. They have no morals. They don't know shit. They're just fucking good ass. Put your hand up their ass and make them say whatever you need to make them say. Oh, walk over here, do that. Daniel J. Cronin, who was the assistant director of the FPA, outlined a massive surveillance and manipulation program that is directed against the American population on a continuous basis. The FPA has organized an impressive armament of resources and equipment. Mr. Cronin described an interview his agency's attitude toward the wide-ranging surveillance program. We try to monitor situations, he said, and get to them before they become emergencies. Yeah, anything that can stop them from doing the fuck shit they're doing. Anyway, because something is fucking really wrong with them. Anyway, no expense is spared in the monitoring program. He cited reconnaissance satellites, local and state police intelligence reports, and law enforcement agencies of the federal government as examples of the resources available to the FBA for information gathering. The only document that I was able to find that attempts to outline some of the statutory authority of Mount Weather is Executive Order 11490. It was drafted by General George A. Lincoln, former director of the Office of Emergency Preparedness, preceded by the FBA, and was signed into law by President Nixon on October 1969. And we know what happened to him after 1971. Anyway, Executive Order 11490 superseded Executive Order 11051, signed on October 2nd, 1962, by President Kennedy. Kennedy's order used the language, whereas national preparedness must be achieved, as may be required to deal with increases in international tension, with limited war, or with general war, including attack upon the United States. Nixon's order began. Oh yeah, Kennedy was with the fucks until he realized this is wrong shit. He grew a conscience. He woke up. And for that, whereas our national security, Nixon's order begins. Whereas our national security is dependent upon our ability to assure, anyway, continuity of government at every level in any national emergency type situation that might conceivably confront the nation. Nixon has deleted any reference to war, imminent attack, and general war from the order and replaced them with the phrase during any emergency that might conceivably occur. Remember when I told y'all about Oklahoma? The fact that most people don't know that they rebuilt it? Well, do you know how they stopped them? Regardless of the turpentine bombs and TNT and all that, they started shooting back and killing a whole lot of them fuckers. Dig deeper. Motherfuckers heard the call go out. Back then, niggas could still hear far away, and the word, we knew how to travel the word very fast. And boys got together, grabbed their rifles and shit, and went in there and started fucking everything up. Learn the true history. Don't be stuck to their fucking fake ass narrative. Don't do it. Nixon's order, which is the one in effect today, allows the government in the form of FEMA to suspend the Constitution for literally any reason they decide to call a national emergency. I cannot find a plan or executive order anywhere that outlines any procedure or allowance for the restoration of the Constitution after a national emergency has ended. This leads to the obvious conclusion that no restoration of the Constitution is contemplated or desired by those in power. Yet I keep telling you that the Constitution is our shit. They can't take it, make it, fake it like it belongs to somebody else, and then just to say we're going to take it away and this is what we're going to do. It's pure bullshit. It's tyrannical. And most of these motherfuckers don't even know that. It don't matter. He didn't even fucking know it. In 1975, Senator Tooney expressed concern. We know from what we've heard in the press that 15,000 names were being maintained by the FBI for detention in an emergency. We also know that the IRS had its files on individual taxpayers, and we know that the CIA had their Operation Chaos, and that the NSA has the records of conversations that have been intercepted electronically. My question is this: is there anyone like yourself, General Bray, that is in control of the overall access to this data if it is maintained in a relocation site? And your answer, as I understood it, is no. Tooney continued, General Bray, I must say that I still don't know who's in control of these relocation centers. You say you don't have the knowledge and still won't know from the 3 witnesses that we had here today that they had information as to who has control of those centers? I am not at liberty, Bray answered, to describe precisely what is the role and the mission and the capability that we have at Mountain Weather or at any other precise location. I firmly believe that our continuity, Jesus Christmas, of government program has not provided continuity at all, but has been the instrument for discontinuing open and democratic government. And the very program designed to protect Americans has actually been turned against us. H. Ron Gaither. We at the executive level here we're active in the OSS. Remember I said that? The State Department or the European Economic Administration. During those times, and without exception, we operated under directions issued by the White House, and we are continuing to be guided by just such directives, the substance of which were to the effect that we should make every effort to so alter a life in the United States as to make possible a comfortable merger with the Soviet Union. H. Ron Gaither, president of the Ford Foundation, 1953. And we know that Henry Ford is one and the same with Morgan, Rockefeller, fucking all of them. Okay? And don't you ever forget that. Next, we'll be getting into HR 4079 and FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, a tool that can be used to establish the police state, patriots, and tax protesters. You must never be found at home on any holiday. And we'll get into that. You know, take a breather. Yeah, I was going to just keep reading, but we're at 54 minutes. I don't want to go over an hour. I want to give some shout outs and get off of here. Go down here, fold this shit up. And get my, I might just make a smoothie, guys. And get back up here. And what's that? Awesome Live. I wish you could have been in there. I could have shared some more information and stuff about the show. I've been saying this all along. They're not the original Chinese. These people aren't what they are. And they may have some of the bloodline, but they have been fucked up. They have been perverted. And when I tell you that all these motherfuckers at the top are all one and the same people, y'all must believe me. Look at Jamie Foxx. It wasn't no stroke. They is trying to kill his ass. You see what he did? He fired a whole bunch of motherfuckers. P. Diddy's probably got some hand in there because he's been talking a lot about that shit too. No, y'all haven't seen it. P. Diddy needs to be hunted down and locked the fuck up, if not executed. They need to take his ass, lock him up, and put him in the motherfucking electric chair. Or give him that goddamn sleepy juice. And same could be going and say it about fucking Dre. Real shit. All right. So let me get shout outs and get the fuck off here. Great Wolf. Oh man, you have to thank me, man. Appreciate you. Much love and respect. Humble French. What's going on? Peace to family. That's right. Scott, what's cracking? Mikey Hill. All right. Rondo. My man. What was that? Okay. Yeah. Hey, West Side. Yola. What's going on, brother? Yola. Hey, T. Hans, what's cracking? Anyway, let's go ahead and get this off. Shut it down. What's that? I don't think any sisters came up in here, but that's for them when they come. And you already know, brothers. And I'm going to see y'all here shortly. All right. Appreciate you all. I do.